Nigeria appears to be going through challenging times in terms of security. Various security issues such as kidnapping, ritual killings, armed robbery, and theft of national assets seems to be on the increase. Security agencies have the mandate to secure lives and property and provide protection for critical public infrastructure such as oil pipelines from attacks by miscreants. Vandalization of oil and gas infrastructure, crude oil theft, and massive oil bunkering, which have become the order of the day, is drastically affecting the economy of the nation. On Panorama, today in Port Harcourt Network Center, we will focus on security of lives and critical infrastructure. I am Jenny Bassi. Welcome. International cooperation is a compass and the most realistic path towards maximizing opportunities and resolving challenges. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this in his address to world leaders at the ongoing G77 plus China Leaders Summit at the Palace Convention, Havana, Cuba. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jubrila reports.
Gathered here are head of states and government, delegates from over 100 countries from the global south, with Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima representing the country, emphasizing on partnership for finding realistic solutions to global challenges. He expressed Nigeria's commitment to tow the path of partnership with member states of the G7 and China towards addressing global challenges. Themed current development challenges, the role of science, technology, and innovation, the Vice President underscored the prominent role which science, technology, and innovation have played in resolving challenges. From pandemic to paradigm shift, Nigeria's road to reinvention was a paper delivered by the Vice President, noting that science and technology have shaped the course of nations.
Nigeria stands as a beacon of youthful talent and innovation. These young citizens are not only dedicated to integrating human elements into the evolving technological sphere, but their efforts also expand to diverse fields, ranging from telemedicine to the automation of agriculture, all with the aim of making our daily lives more seamless.
The Vice President said Nigeria is contributing its own share in leveraging science, technology, and innovation to resolving challenges such as COVID-19 and the climate crisis.
Allow me to reiterate Nigeria's commitment to partnering with our fellow member nations of the G77 and China. We shall champion initiatives that harness the potential of science, technology, and innovation to confront economic challenges, particularly within the global south. Nigeria also looks forward to the adoption of the Havana Declaration and its complete implementation for the betterment of our people and our region.
President of Cuba and chair of the G7 and China, Miguel Diaz-Canel, lamented the precarious situations faced by developing countries who are member states. He noted that science, technology, and innovation have only benefited developed countries, while the global south is largely facing very serious challenges, calling for collective wisdom to address the challenges. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in his brief remarks, also noted the development problems confronting developing countries and promised the United Nations system will continue to work with the G7 and China to provide solutions to these challenges. Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Nigeria's delegation to the G77 plus China summit, led by Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Republic of Cuba to further enhance collaboration in the field of innovation between the two countries. The signing ceremony was on the sidelines of the G77 plus China summit, which is the high point of Nigeria's participation at the summit. The Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, signed on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, assuring that Nigeria will maximize the opportunities provided by the bilateral agreement. The Vice President averred that Nigeria places high premium on South-South cooperation as a platform for promoting sustainable development of Global South. The federal government remains resolute towards seeing to the success of the ongoing construction of the Kaduna-Zaria-Kano double-track standard gauge rail project. Minister of Transportation, Saidu Ahmad Alkali, gave the determination while inspecting the Makarfi axis of the project that is valuable to the people of Kano and Kaduna State. Aminu Umar reports.
Sleeper placement at the construction site along Makarfi axis of the Kaduna-Zaria-Kano double-track standard gauge rail project. The project, which commenced in 2021, scheduled to be completed in 36 months as single track and later reviewed to double track, now stands at 22%, with track laying at about 14 kilometers out of the 89 kilometers from Makarfi to Kano. Minister of Transportation Saidu Ahmad Alkali, who received progress report as part of his inspection mission to the site, assured to do all it takes to ensure the project is timely and successfully delivered.
As we stand here, we start raising some little observations on the clips they are using. We ask them to use anti-theft clips so that they cannot be easily removed.
Apart from track laying, earth and civil engineering work is going on steadily along the axis inspected, with hundreds of Nigerians earning a living at the construction sites. In Kano, Aminu Umar, NTA News.
Among the Ministry of Niger Delta Development Commission and the Ministry of Niger Delta Development, and also with all state governors in the Niger Delta region, is a tested recipe to fast-track development in the region. These are the words of the Minister, Niger Delta Development, Abubakar Momo, during his working visit and inspection of projects in Cross River State. Paul Abel reports.
Been sworn into office a few weeks ago, and with the passion to make a difference in the Niger Delta region, the minister is embarking on this visit to ascertain the projects undertaken by the ministry before implementation of policies. But the minister must first visit the Cross River State governor represented by his deputy, where they both agreed on the dilapidated nature of the East-West Road, Calabar-Uyo Road, and the need to return the supervision of construction work to that of the Niger Delta development.
Let us come together, all the ministers in the Niger Delta, the governors, and the political leaders. I believe if all this group of persons come together with one voice, there's no doubt, no way that this cannot be better than they are today.
This Calabar-Uyo Road, we have been crying about it for the past 7 to 8 years. It has been this bad, if I remember correctly. In fact, what you see today is even better because there were some remedial works that were being done in a very bad area.
With the courtesy call over, the minister and his entourage embarked on inspection to the 1.9 kilometer internal road project at Akamko community, where he also engaged the contractors on the unfinished part of the job. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Days into the current set of leadership in the country, Nigerians resident in Port Harcourt are clamoring for the adoption of universal basic services, a system practiced in other climes that promotes entrepreneurial economy and social services for the well-being of the populace. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
Chapter 2, Section 14 of the 1999 Constitution as amended provides that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. 100 days into the current set of leadership across the federal and state governments, are there indications that this constitutional provision is adhered to?
The weather of Nigeria is very rough. Can go to the market now and see things increasing every day by day.
We are still hopeful that, okay, something positive is going to come out of this government.
There are, however, increasing push for the government to recognize the need to provide for the welfare of the citizens. The idea of universal basic income for every adult in Nigeria is being considered by some. Critics, however, fault the absence of reliable data as a big challenge to this proposition.
Getting the statistic data of those that are not employed is a bit difficult, because everybody will claim, even the rich will claim that they are not employed. So the best thing is that for government to look at the critical infrastructure.
Government at all levels, others insist, should move away from the old order and consider providing universal basic services to support production in the economy.
Make avenue for production, make sure that they produce, and also put enabling environment. Government should put enabling environment. Also give them impulse.
Proponents for national development note that government programs and projects must be detached from political sentiments if this set of leaders want to enforce the desired objective. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Cutting-edge technology has been developed to tackle world's problems. Experts advise Rivers State government and security operatives to tackle full advantage of modern technology in addressing security challenges confronting the state, especially in respect to the protection of lives and property, including critical government infrastructure. Gabriel Amunike reports.
Rivers State has the shares of various security issues confronting states in Nigeria currently. Quite recently, a divisional police officer, Bako, known for his zero tolerance for crime, was brutally murdered. A female hostel in Rivers State was also robbed, while cases of kidnapping are becoming commonplace. These and many other pockets of criminality require concerted effort of security operatives to bring under control. Rivers State Police Command says they are investigating some of these reported incidents and several arrests have been made.
I want to sincerely appeal to the residents of Rivers State to actively support our dedicated police operatives as they continue to work tirelessly to combat all forms of crime and criminality within the state.
Worried about the recurrent crimes, some concerned stakeholders are calling for a review of security strategies in Rivers State.
The era of engaging them physically, I think, is getting outdated. They should deploy technology and also engage in retraining of their members of the police force.
In any country, they know where there is hotspots, where these criminalities are so rampant. They should develop there. They should deploy most of their most intelligent security officers into that area.
Residents of Rivers State call on government at all levels to do everything within their powers to stand the tide of insecurity. Gabriel Amunike, NTA News.
And in the studio to discuss on the security in some parts of the state and also measures taken to addressing this insecurity is none other than the Commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Basil Igubueze. It is my pleasure to have you on Panorama this morning.
Thank you so much.
So, with the recent dynamic insecurity situations, particularly here in Rivers State, what are the new strategies security operatives need to employ in addressing them, especially with respect to the very senior police officer that was hacked to death, and of course the alleged molestation by some university students?
Thank you so much. Let me use this opportunity to appreciate NTA for the opportunity given to the Corps to showcase some of their activities. With regards to the recent insecurity in the state, the security and peace-loving governor of the state, His Excellency Sim Fubara, quickly instituted a security joint task force that will dominate the entire area with heightened patrol and of confidence building strategies in form of patrol, so that the citizens will be reassured of the ability of the government and the capability to contain any act of insecurity from the non-state actors. Part of this strategy include the funding and the institution of the joint task force that will transfer all these necessary activities in the state and make sure that the generality of the citizens observe that the state is prepared, more prepared than ever, to make sure that the residents enjoy their lives and properties without any molestation from the non-state actors.
Okay, now let's look at government critical infrastructure, like the gas pipelines and other things, which of course are under threat. What can be done to protect this critical infrastructure since it's under your jurisdiction?
The NSCDC, personified in our indefatigable Commandant General, Dr. Abubakar Ahmed Audi, OFR, MNI, has taken the bull by the horn. Consequent upon his assumption of office, he instituted the National Asset Protection Policy and Strategy document, which forms as a blueprint that enables the Corps and in all the state commands to contain these criminalities with regards to efforts or attempts by criminals to destroy our critical national assets. It may be interesting to explain that these critical national assets are those tools that predispose and facilitate government's effort to make sure that what the citizen cannot provide for themselves, the government provides them for them. So these are the critical national assets. And some of these strategies include the institution of the female squad that supervises, monitors, and champions the protection of secondary schools and tertiary institutions from these criminals. We also have the TG's intelligence squad that is in all the 36 states of the Federation, monitoring and acquiring actionable intelligence that will help these policymakers to churn out policies that will help to contain some of these criminalities. We also have the agro rangers, those ones that threaten the food security of the state. They are also contained and checkmated by the activities of men of the agro rangers department. So the critical national assets and infrastructure directorate of the Corps is saddled the responsibility of prosecuting this mandate as our statutory function.
Now, do you think that your command has done much in checkmating illegal bunkering in the state?
Of a truth, it is observable that the activities of bunkering in the state has gone down because of the concerted effort of not only the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps personnel, but all our sister agencies and even the communities and the locals. More than ever before, the communities have been galvanized and everybody is interested in making sure that these criminals that deplete the revenue base of the economy, for which the government is criticized for non-provision of some of the amenities, are tackled headlong. They are all now determined and they report to the security agencies efforts or plans by these criminals to thwart the economic base.
Okay, now in every success story, there is always a challenge. What are your challenges and what should be done in addressing them?
Our challenges are depth of scarcity of technical aids or technical instruments and then human intelligence resources. We don't have sufficient manpower to prosecute this function. If the government avails us of the needed technology that we use to conduct ISR and then meaningfully acquire intelligence that will help the government and then security agencies to strategize on how to defeat these criminals, it will go a long way to making sure that not only the Corps is predisposed and then put on the right pedestal to now function effectively, but it will guarantee that lives and properties are meaningfully secured in the state.
Okay, now let's talk about flood. In a few weeks from now, the impending flood predicted by NIMET will soon be here, particularly in this part of the state. What is NSCDC doing to curtail or to protect lives and property in case of this flooding?
Practical measures have been put in place by NSCDC. We have a mountain campaign from local government areas, campaigns in the motor parks, campaigns in the neighborhood, campaigns in schools, and every social gathering on how the citizens should rally around government to make sure that they assist government to provide for some of these facilities that are needed to support some of these residents that are living in flood-prone areas, so that in terms of emergency and critical situation or disaster, everybody rallies around everybody that is a victim to make sure that the pains are reduced or ameliorated.
Thank you very much for coming on Panorama this afternoon. And that was Basil Igwebuezi, the Commandant Rivers State NSCDC, talking on security here in the state. Panorama will continue after this break. Stay tuned. Experts have warned against excessive consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages, with emphasis on Nigeria currently topping the list of countries at the highest risk level in Africa. Ifoma Omesa in this report examines the dangers associated with overconsumption of sugar beverages in Nigeria.
Research shows that sugary drinks are one of the major determinants of obesity and diabetes. Emerging evidence indicates that high consumption of sugary drinks increase the risk of heart disease. Many non-communicable diseases are linked to modifiable lifestyle risk factors such as the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages. Non-communicable diseases such as cancer, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and kidney failure account in 1 in 3 deaths. Dr. Sukarime is a consultant with Rivers State University Teaching Hospital. He called for stakeholders and government collaboration to discourage excessive consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages as they are harmful to human health.
From the health perspective, those beverages will have adverse effects on the cardiovascular status of people in general. It will result in the twin problems of obesity.
If this is taken over and taken into control, the sugar-related disorders or effects will be reduced.
The demand for an increase in sugar tax is expected to help cushion the burden of non-communicable diseases.
Increase in cost will not stop the addiction. It has to do with their personal interest, one, and the knowledge level.
This significant step aims to promote healthy beverages choices, reduce the intake of processed sugars, soft drinks, and contribute to a healthier future to citizens and generation to come. In Port Harcourt, Ifoma Omesa, NTA News.
Nigeria overcome Algeria in Africa Women Youth Handball Championship Open in Tunisia. These and more on sports updates with Oche Ngebe. Panorama from Port Harcourt Network Center. Thank you so much for watching. Good afternoon.